Okay, so good evening, everyone, and you're welcome to iChoose Lesson 2 of the John C. Maxwell value-based leadership curriculum. So today's topic is self-worth, and our tag is the price. Our icon is the price tag. I mean, what comes readily to mind when you think about this price tag is, maybe the price tag that comes with a new item, a new clothes, a new shoe, or anything of such. I mean, every valuable thing comes with a price tag, or most valuable things, come with price tags. I mean, the paper price tag. But the truth is, everything valuable has a price on it. And if you think about it, what actually determines the price of an item? What determines how much an item goes for really is the value, the perceived value of that item. Why do you think iPhones are expensive? Why do you think they're expensive? Aside from the fact that, yes, they have features that make them stand out. I mean, in terms of the camera quality, you have other phones that have better camera quality than iPhones, right? And you realize that because of the perceived value that everybody thinks that iPhone has, that's why the price is very high. The price is very high. Yes, a lot of marketing has gone into it. Yes, they have unique features. However, even though those features are unique, they might not necessarily be the best. Just like I said, using the camera of an iPhone, for instance, we have some techno phones that have better camera quality than an iPhone. But the fact that this product has been marketed in a certain way, the fact that this product has been made to have a perceived value, right, makes us pay more for it. So that's just to drive home the importance of our icon to be being a price tag. And it's also to drive home the importance of the worth of an item or the worth of a thing. So the price of an item is based on the perceived value of that item. I don't want you to forget that. So what's the goal of this lesson? The goal of our lesson today is that you know your value so you can make the choice to not sell yourself short. That's the goal of this lesson, is to remind you that you are valuable so that you do not sell yourself short in whatsoever situation or circumstance you find yourself. That's our simple goal. So what's our quote? As we always do, we pick a quote from John C. Maxwell, and today's quote is very interesting, and it goes thus: the price tag we place on ourselves is the same price tag others place on us. The price tag we place on ourselves is the same price tag others place on us. No matter how much of a negotiator you are, maybe you are very good with negotiations, right? And then you go to an iStore and you want to try your negotiation tactics. You say, okay, you want to buy, what's the latest one now? Let me just say you want to buy Pro Max, right? And then you go and they tell you this phone is 500K. And then you are trying to negotiate with the person. No matter if you negotiate from today to tomorrow, no matter how good you have with negotiation, no matter how convincing you have with it, the price is the price. That's what has been, that price is what has been placed on the phone, right? And there is nothing you can do about it. If you have the money, you pay. If you don't have the money, you walk out, right? So the price that has been paid, just the way it is for an iPhone or any other item, right, that has a fixed price, what you have to do is either you pay for it or you leave, right? So same thing goes for us. Same thing goes for you and I. We need to understand our value and place a price on it. It is when you understand your value and you place a price on it that you will create boundaries. You will not allow people march on you or disrespect you, so to speak. It doesn't mean that you now become very proud and pompous. No. However, you don't allow certain things because you know who you are. You know the value that you bring to the table. You will not allow yourself, you not shortchange yourself when there is an opportunity for promotion because you are thinking less of yourself. And the truth about these issues are, especially when it comes to promotion, You learn on the job. That's what I've come to realize. You become better on the job. There is nobody that goes for an interview for a particular position. Let me not say there is nobody. Generally, most people that go for interviews, or maybe there's a promotion opportunity, they are not 100% qualified. There's a lot of learning that goes on the role, right? So it is when you do not understand your value, that it is when you are blind to your value, right, that you begin to talk down yourself and you think you do not qualify for certain things. I need you to understand that there is a price on you. And if you are a believer, you even have an advantage. You have, the greatest price has been paid on your behalf, and that makes you valuable. That makes you extremely valuable. Do you understand? So I need you to understand. I need you to walk I need you to have a full knowledge and understanding of the price, of the fact that you are valuable. And the way you sell yourself is how others will buy you. That's how others will perceive you, right? So our quote, don't forget again, is that the price you place on ourselves is the same price that others will place on you. Let me also give you an analogy. When you go to the market, for instance, maybe let's say you go to Idumota market and you want to buy a shoe, right? What happens? Okay, there's a price for that shoe. There's already a fixed cost for that shoe, and then what we normally do is we normally will price low. I mean, we'll negotiate lower than the price that has been placed on the item. There is no way somebody will tell you a shoe goes for 5,000 and you say, can I buy it for 10,000 naira? That doesn't happen. You would always want to price low. You would always want to negotiate low. So imagine if you now place a low value on yourself. If you already place a low value on yourself, it means that people will price you lower than the price you placed on yourself. So it's always good for you to have a healthy estimation of yourself. Generally, psychologists have said that most times we overhype ourselves. I mean, a normal person, not someone with complex or someone with low self-esteem, a normal person would most times would generally, underprice or undervalue themselves, right? But the key lesson I want you to take from today's value is the need for you to have a healthy estimation of yourself, not think of yourself more highly than you ought to, and not think of yourself more lowly than you ought to. Because generally, when people even want to, for instance, you are negotiating for salary, what happens? Most companies would first negotiate for a lower price. Then you would not be the one to find a way to, negotiate for something higher. So generally, people would always want to price low. So it's good and it's best for you to always see yourself the way God sees you. See yourself as being valuable. See yourself as being unique. See yourself as a king and a queen, right? That you are, because the greatest prize, if you're a Christian here, you have an advantage, and the greatest prize of all, which is the blood of Jesus, has been paid on your life. So you must always remember that nobody determines your worth. Nobody determines your worth. No title, no position, no possession, right, determines your worth. You are valuable, you are priceless, we are worthy, not because of all those things, but because of who you are. Because of who you are. Please, let's not forget that quote. So self-worth is a choice. If you have been in all the lessons, you realize that all of the values we've learned so far are a choice. I mean, if you are talking about character is a choice. If you're talking about forgiveness that we did last week, forgiveness is a choice. Also, self-worth is a choice. You can choose to see yourself the way God sees you. You can choose to see yourself low. It all depends on you. It doesn't mean you won't make heaven if you're a Christian, right? It doesn't mean you won't make heaven. You will still make heaven. However, while you're on earth here, you will lose out on so many good things. You will lose out on so many things so many great things that God has in plan for you. So when we say self-worth, I've used the analogy of a phone to illustrate what that means, right? I would have loved to ask before sharing this slide, but I already did. So let me just read it out to you. So that's the feeling that you have good qualities and have achieved good things. If you have any other definition of self-worth, please put it in the chat box. But generally, self-worth means that self-worth is that feeling that you have good qualities and you have achieved good things. The truth of the matter is, as human beings, right? I've already stated how the psychologists have found out that generally we tend to undervalue ourselves. I mean, there's an inner critic in each and every one of us. There is that inner critic that makes you think that, makes you think that you haven't met a particular standard, that you're not doing well enough, you're not doing enough, right? That inner critic is there. And that is why self-awareness is very, very, very key. If you understand, if you have the understanding that, okay, naturally I have an inner critic that would want me to do more, that would always help to criticize myself. Let me put it that way. And those things that inner critic is actually there to push you to do more, like I said earlier. But being self-aware helps you to understand that this is natural, this is normal. You would always criticize yourself. And then being self-aware will help you to also understand how to deal with that inner critic. How to deal with that inner critic. When that inner critic, when that negative voice inside of you creeps up or comes up, what do you do? Do you keep quiet? Do you just go to bed, or do you stay in that mode and allow yourself and then beat up yourself over nothing, right? So you need to understand that there is an inner critic, and then you need to understand that you can always put this inner critic to check every time. You can do that. So every one of us, we have a personal power. You have a personal power, and this personal power is given to you. Is it for a child of God, right? This personal power is in God, and realizing that you carry God in you helps you to overcome everything that comes your way. Helps you to overcome, even the power of the inner critic. So, and this comes by reading, meditating, and speaking on God's love towards you, right? This helps you to silence your inner critic and helps to bring out the queen, the king, and that greatness in you, and helps you to grow in the way you estimate yourself, right? The way you estimate yourself, the way you see yourself, right? So it's very important that we understand that we carry a power within us, and that's the power of God in us that helps us to overcome this inner critic. And what do you do when this inner critic shows up? What you do, like I said earlier, is for you to meditate and speak back a higher power or a higher voice above, above your inner critic. So I already also mentioned that being self-aware is very key. If you really want to have a healthy self-worth, you really need to know who you are. You really need to know who you are. For some young folks that I've spoken to, there's something I always tell them, which is to do an analysis of who you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the things you naturally find easy to do? What are your soul burdens? I call some things soul burdens, right? What are those things that hold you back or limit you from being all that you've been created to be? Is it fear? Is it comparison? Is it uncertainty? Is it shame? Is it scarcity? Is it this inner critic that I just spoke about? Is it that you doubt a lot and all of those things? So it's good for you. I mean, in 2018, I think, in 2018, I began a journey to self-discovery. And what I did was I started to journal. I started to write almost everything that I knew about myself. At the end of the day, I had a robust document, about myself. In this book, I think I had close to 60 pages, about myself. This wasn't something I wrote down in a day. Anything I just noticed, I'll just put it in that book. And I started categorizing grouping those things. Unfortunately, I lost it when my iPad crashed then. But that experience, that exercise in itself helped me to be more self-aware of who I am. So in that book, then I crafted the vision, I had the mission, and then my strengths, all the things I noticed that I was good at or I could do. I began to, write them down, and the things that I knew I needed improvement in, those areas of opportunities or weaknesses, I began to write them down. The various opportunities, that areas or fields or industries I knew I could play in, I also began to write, all those things down. And what that helped me to do was to help open up myself. The truth is, the more you know yourself, the better you're able to relate with yourself and the better you're able to relate with other people. So I'm challenging you here today to get to befriend yourself, know yourself, really, really know yourself. I mean, not this is what I love. Yeah, it's part of it. But now I'm talking about understanding what your strengths are, understanding what your weaknesses are, right? So beyond the noise, beyond the titles, beyond the accolades, some of you have CIM, CPRM, HRBM, all the titles. When all those titles are taken off, when all those positions are taken off, who are you? So I want you to think and ponder on this. Who are you, right? Think about who you are in terms of your strengths, things that you are able to do, and things that you struggle with. Understand those things, right? If you lost all that you have today, would you still be intact? If you lost, I mean, in terms of the accolades and position, will you still be intact? How would you think of yourself? Will you think of yourself less because now there is no more car? Now there is no more husband. Now, you know, what all those things that make us feel like we have achieved. When all those things are stripped off you, can you start again and still build yourself up to, you know, to even a greater height? That's when you know that those things really do not determine who you are. You really need to think about yourself on a personal level where nothing is attached to your name. You know, that really helps you to understand yourself and helps you to exposes you, right, to areas of strengths and areas of weaknesses that you need to work on. If you attained great wealth, would you still be intact? How would you think of yourself? Would you think of yourself more highly, or would you think of yourself low? So thinking about yourself doesn't thinking about yourself doesn't lead to self-awareness. It is only when you ask the right questions. That's when you become self-aware. That's why I've put some of this question here to help you understand yourself better. You know, no matter how old you are, we are all on a journey of self-awareness. There are some times that I don't know if this has happened to you before, where you just realize, did I just say that? Even you yourself, you will shock yourself, like, wow, did I just do that? Did I just behave that way? Probably because it's a new experience for you. It is when you experience some things newly, that's when you discover certain things about yourself. So we are all on a journey of self-discovery. However, we are at different levels in this self-discovery journey. So I'm challenging you guys to get to ask yourself the right questions. What can I do? What can I do? Right? What do I love to do? What do I enjoy doing? What are those things? I think one of the critical questions that helps to liberate me into my purpose is this question about what is stopping me? What is really limiting me from doing these things that I have on my heart? You know, and I began to journal. I began to write them down. Is it because I'm afraid? I'm afraid of being laughed at. I'm afraid of not succeeding in these things. I'm afraid of failing in these things. I wrote all those things down. And then I realized that to hell with all of these limitations, I'm going to take the right first step, and then I'll see how that goes. And the truth of the matter is until you start before you are clear. Many of us are not doing those things on our hearts today because we want to be 100% clear. It doesn't happen that way. It is when you take the right step, that's when it becomes clearer. That's when God adds more assignments to you. If you don't complete the current assignment He has given to you, you will not graduate from that class you have, and you will not be able to move into the next class. Do you understand what I'm saying? So write down all those things that are limiting you. Is it your mindset? Is it because you don't want people to laugh at you? I mean, you need to get to the understanding that who cares? I mean, it's your life. It's only one life you have to live. And if you do not make the right decisions now, well, I'm not saying it will be too late later. You might still be able to pick it up later, but you would have lost some time. You would have lost some time. I'm not preaching that you be in a haste. No matter what it is, no matter the vision that God has placed on your heart, no matter the dream that God has placed on your heart, there's always a right time for it. The right first step is for you to begin to prepare. for you to begin to prepare. And if you do an analysis today of those that are, those that you admire, you realize that many of them started early. And then there are so many people too that started late. But in terms of starting early, even those people that started, how will I put this, the people that started getting to know later, you would realize that they started their preparation right from time. Right from time. Nobody was born a CEO, right? I hope you know that. Nobody was born a CEO, right? They started from somewhere. So that starting journey, that preparatory journey, that is what I'm challenging you to start now. I'm not challenging you to start to put pressure on yourself. I'm not saying you should start to fake it till you make it. No. However, what I'm saying is for you to start to accept those things. I mean, another liberating life lesson or mindset that has helped me as an individual is that knowing that I get to do some things. I know I would have shared it, one or two of you would have heard me say that before. I just came to that realization that, this youth empowerment, this youth mentoring and the likes that I'm doing today, it's not because it's only my passion, even though I'm passionate about it. But what is more important is the fact that I have been called to do it. I just get to do it. I mean, that statement just cuts it for me. When I say that I get to be, for instance, the CEO of whatever company, I don't know if you're a business person here and you're the owner of the company, just put yourself in that position where you realize that this is something you get to do. This is something you have been cut out to do. This is something that you have been graced to do. That mindset is revolutionary. I mean, just you understanding that you are who you are. That's just it. It's just like if, for instance, Dangote's son should come here and then that's just who he is. That same thing goes for you. That same thing goes for you. You are just who you are. And because of who you are, you get to do some things naturally. You get to be excellent. You get to be productive. You get to be you get to be confident. You get to be excellent in your output. You get to be smart. You get to be intelligent. You get to be filled with the Spirit of God. You get to do excellent things. I just need you to come to that mode where you know that this is just something that has been created and crafted for you. I hope you understand me. Let me get some feedback in the chat box because it feels like I'm talking to myself alone. Right? Let me just get some feedback from you. So understanding that this vision that has been placed in my heart, it's on my heart because it has been unpicked for me, and I get to lead this vision, right? I get to lead this vision. I get to do extraordinary things because that's who I am. That is who I am. So guys, I'm just challenging you to come into that position where you embrace your calling. Come into that position where you embrace yourself. You embrace your uniqueness. This is just who I am. How else can I say it? But I hope you guys really understand. I just trust that Holy Spirit will help to really explain these things to you, right? You knowing that you are just who you are. You get to be that beautiful, that articulate lady, that brilliant lady, that God-fearing lady, that guy that does exploits, that's going to do exploits for the kingdom. That person is going to impact his or her world because that's just what you get to do. I don't know how else to say it. You just get to do those things because these are destiny assignments that has been given to you from heaven. Nobody chose it for you. You didn't choose it yourself. Yes, the passion in your heart for those things too were put there because you are meant to do those things. Those dreams in your heart were placed there because these are things that you get to do. I hope you really understand. So self-worth statements, the price tag you place on yourself is important. How can you be given an opportunity to rate yourself and you rate yourself low? Please don't do that. Because people will price you low. I already made that analogy when you go to the market, when you want to price something, you don't price high, you price low. So others will price you low, except for those that see value in you. And not everybody will see value in you. The people that will see value in you are probably your friends and those that God has called into your life. Every other person will price you low. So that's why you need to price yourself high. You need to price yourself the way you should, right? It is the same price tag others place on you. In fact, I think it is even a lower price tag that others will place on you, not the same. So how do you feel about yourself? You are not hyping yourself because of yourself. You are hyping yourself because you know that the greater one lives on your inside. So check your price tag. Perhaps you have marked yourself down. Perhaps it is you that determines, perhaps you have marked yourself down. It is you that determines your worth. Get off the clearance rack and put yourself in the glass rack where the valuables are kept. Bottom line, value yourself. You know, when you go to a Cartier or you go to a Gucci shop, you know, you realize that those priceless items are placed in a glass in the glass showroom or something. While those are, you have some your items on clearance. You are not on the clearance rack. Please tell yourself that. Unmute and tell yourself, I am not on the clearance rack. I am valuable. Tell yourself that.
Not
Yeah,
clearance.
I am not on the clearance rack. I am valuable.
Yes, that's who you are. You are not on the clearance rack. In case you have been thinking like someone that is on the clearance rack, today reset your mindset and always see yourself as being valuable. No matter where you find yourself, whether in the midst of those that are equally very valuable, and then some of you will begin to feel intimidated. No, understand that God has placed each of us, made each of us unique. And the more you have people that have good self-esteem, the better the world will be. The better the world will be, and you get to be one of those great people that have good self-esteem. So low self-worth occurs when you imitate others instead of being yourself. High self-esteem is when you appreciate yourself and get it up with good behavior. That's it. That's it. So it doesn't mean you will not make mistakes. You will make mistakes. So in case you think the fact that you have a good self-esteem doesn't mean you will make mistakes, but the fact that you have a good self-esteem will help you to realize your mistake, right? Get up and continue. The journey to self-esteem, the journey to self-awareness doesn't ever end. So however, you need to accept yourself, spend time with yourself, speak good things to yourself in the mirror, take care of yourself through exercise, through prayer, through self-meditation, by talking to the Holy Spirit, talking to the Holy Spirit. So be present, be in tune with your emotions, understand when you're feeling. I mean, it's just our culture, right? Well, I don't know if it's the culture I'm meant to blame or our experiences. I don't know. Somehow we are just so disconnected from our emotions. Even as a person, I'm also on that journey, learning to understand my emotions, because emotions actually speak. They tell us something. When you're afraid, for instance, when you're afraid or you feel inadequate, for instance, it means that it's speaking to you to develop yourself when you feel inadequate. So all these feelings, all these emotions, they carry messages in them. It's for you to understand what message is this passing across to me. I'm feeling inadequate right now. That means there's need for me to develop myself in a particular aspect, in that aspect where I'm feeling inadequate in. Right? I'm fearful at this moment. That means that I have not pumped up my faith enough in this regard. Right? So understand your emotions, heal from your past wounds, heal from your past wounds, heal from your from the wounds of from how will I put it now, your identity crisis. Heal from them. Heal from the pain of being from a particular home, from a particular family. Heal from those things. Accept that God has placed you in the right family. He has groomed you. He has deliberately handpicked you to be in that family, and everything will work for your good. It will work for your good at the end of the day. So don't be, what's the word now? Is it ashamed? I think don't be ashamed of where you're from. Don't be ashamed of your parents. No, no. I think what is powerful is if your today is far-fetched from your background, people are not even able to realize, wow, so you mean this person is from this kind of family, and yet look at who she is, look at who he is today. Do you understand? So don't also force yourself or condone someone who doesn't love you. It is people with low self-esteem that begin to force themselves on others or condone rubbish from other people, right? Remember our quote, the price tag you place on yourself is what others will place on you. So it is the same price tag or even lower price tag that others will place, that you place on yourself that others will place on you. Brian Tracy says, there's a direct relationship between your own level of self-esteem and the health of your personality. The more you like and respect yourself, the more you like and respect other people, the more you consider yourself to be a valuable and worthwhile person, the more you consider others to be valuable and worthwhile as well. The more you accept yourself just as you are, the more you accept others just as they are. It's that simple. All right. So self-worth steps. You have a running conversation with yourself going on all the time. Remember I said you have an inner critic, right? You also have, there is a steady conversation going on internally to ensure that that conversation is healthy and worthy of praise. The Bible says in Philippians 4:6 that we should think of things that are true, that are just, that are of good report, right? To ensure that that inner conversation is always healthy. Like I said, the critic is there, but self-awareness will help you to understand that, well, this is my inner critic speaking and I need to silence it. So the more you meditate, speak the right things, the better you are able to control your inner critic. It is your choice. It's the most valuable conversation you will ever have. Most of your emotions are determined by the way you talk to yourself. You naturally move towards the conversations you have with yourself. When nobody else celebrates you, learn to celebrate yourself. It's not up to others to keep you encouraged. It's up to you. Encouragement should come from the inside. Encouragement should come from the inside. So it's really, really, really important that we learn to always encourage ourselves. We learn to praise ourselves and not wait for others to do that. So, and just like the previous slide, like I read in the previous slide, you can't give another person self-worth. You can't give another person self-worth. Yes, you can encourage them, you can speak to them, but it's your choice to determine how you want to see yourself and ensure that your internal dialogue is healthy. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You must see value in yourself before you add value to others. Remember that this is a leadership course, right? So for you to be a leader is someone who adds value to others, who influences others in the direction of an objective, right? So we are saying that before you can even add value to others, you must first of all see value in yourself. You must ensure that you carry yourself with value, and you also see value in yourself before you're able to add it to others, right? So self-image will determine more than anything else how much you will invest in yourself. Why is it important for you to add value to yourself? Because you cannot give what you do not have. I already established that. When you get better, you can help others get better. So no matter what your dreams are, you must now begin to invest yourself in the direction of what you want to provide to other people. For instance, I'm coming here today to speak to you on self-worth. Then I must begin to ask, before I'm able to do this successfully well, I myself must be a person that has self-worth, right? I must be able to show you how I've demonstrated that I see myself healthily, right? It doesn't mean I do not have there are some places I get to be very frank with you. I get to some places, I'm like, oh my God, okay, do I belong here? My self-worth will shake, right? But then what helps me is when I understand, when I don't sit there. Okay, let me even share an experience with you. Now, I want to share one of my failures with you. It was in 2019, yes, 2019 in Morocco. Yeah, was that Morocco? Yes, it was 2019 in Morocco. At the beginning of the year, my company, we normally travel out for our begin year meeting. And in 2019, we went to Morocco and we were having a presentation, right? It was a poster presentation of what we did during the course of last year and what we intended to do this year. Nobody told me when it got to my groups or my team's turn. Nobody actually told me to talk. In fact, I was even, because one of my strengths also is I'm very good with administrative work, coordinating people. I might not be the spokesperson, right? But I'm able to add value at the back end. That's something I've realized. I'm able to add a lot of value, at the back end, in terms of organizing, in terms of putting things together, right? I already did that for my classmates and for my team members, and we unpicked someone whom we knew was better with speaking to be a spokesperson, you know, and I gave her all the points and what she needed to say and all of that. So she missed out some of the points I gave her, and I just wanted to add those points during the nobody sent nobody called me. And then after she spoke, the GM asked some questions, and I just wanted to chip in those very important points that will make us look good and all of that. And then I took the mic. Brothers and sisters in the Lord. I realized at that point that I began to, fear of public speaking. And this is the same me that I've given excellent presentation. I've given excellent presentation before then. And right there and then, I could not say anything. I mean, my voice was literally shaking. I was not coherent. I was so angry with myself. After I went to my room, I cried my eyes out. Like I said, what kind of embarrassment was that? By the time I analyzed what had happened, I realized that these things actually show the way you see yourself, right, in any given situation, just like we were already established, would actually affect the way others see you, and would also affect the way your output. It will affect your results in life. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is, at that point, I was seeing myself in a negative light. I didn't see myself as, the truth is, what makes public speaking really valuable, or what makes it excellent and great, is when you know you are about to deliver value to others. When you understand that first you carry value and you are worthy. I'm stressing that word because a lot of us, especially at this age that you're in, this is something that you will battle with. I battled with this for a while, especially as a teenager. That understanding that you are worthy. You are worthy of whatsoever it is that you are doing or you are meant to do. I need that to sink in. You are worthy. You are worthy of whatsoever it is you are doing right now, or whatsoever it is you are meant to do. Whatsoever it is that you have on your heart, you are worthy of doing those things. So at that point when I took the mic, I felt low. I felt the pressure, that public speaking pressure just came over me, and I was just incoherent at that point anymore. I could not even articulate and put all my thoughts together, and I can't remember the things I said, but I knew I goofed. You understand what I'm saying? And this is before all the who is who in the organization. But what point am I trying to make? If I had seen myself as being valuable at that point, if I had seen myself as someone that was communicating value to others, I wouldn't have behaved, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did, right? That is one public speaking tip that I've just thrown out there. Before you go to the public to speak, or when you're about to speak in the public, if you just reorientate your mind to say, you got this, babe, you got this, dude, you're about to do something, you're about to dish out value because you carry value yourself. That will change the dynamics of your speech. You will speak passionately and people will be inspired by your speech. I mean, so that's just to share with you an exercise. And that day, I remember I prayed, and then I made a promise to myself that never again will I have that occurrence. I'm happy today I can share that story with you because I've moved past it. So guys, you need to always see yourself. You need to always see yourself as someone that is valuable and someone that is ready, that is valuable and is delivering value to others. So before you can deliver value to others, you yourself must come to that understanding. So how do we achieve good things? By adding value to others. This is how good things are achieved. This is how leaders are made. Your self-worth is determined by how you feel about yourself and how others feel about you. And how others feel about you. Adding value to others will enable you to feel good about you, and you will feel good about yourself. That is absolutely true. How many of you can testify to the fact that when you do something for others, you yourself, you feel good? If you can testify to that, there are some messages in the chat room already. Just read some of them. Yes. So when you understand, when you do things for others, even you yourself, you have that feel good feeling. You will have that good feeling. So as a person, as a leader that you are, Always look for opportunities to do things for other people. That would also improve your self-esteem. If you are all about yourself, if you are all about me, myself, and my family, you will realize that you will not, your feel-good level will not be optimal. So this is one quote that is evergreen. It cannot just go obsolete. And it's by Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I absolutely agree. No one can make you feel inferior. So when you're in, I'm sure, you will have felt inferior at one time or the other. If you think back at the experience, you realize that you felt inferior. For instance, my public speaking experience, I felt inferior that day because I allowed it. If I had just psyched up myself before even handling that microphone to say, Tosin, you got this, babe. You did these projects, right? So you know what you're saying, right? And you will deliver value. Just a little pep talk to myself would have gotten me out of it, and I would not have goofed. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. It's because you allowed it. Remember, we said that self-worth is a choice. Self-worth is a choice, and no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Accept yourself, spend time with yourself, speak good things. That's why, as a Christian, confession is, how do I explain this? Knowing who you are in Christ, it helps boost your self-worth. It helps boost your self-esteem when you understand that the most precious blood was shed on your behalf, on your part. When you understand that the greatest person died for you, and then you're thinking, why would you die? Me, shame me, no. That will boost your esteem. It will make you understand that you are not just who you are today. There is more to you. There is more to you, and your future is bright and beautiful. You have a great future, and greater things are ahead of you. So this is the last slide, and I want us to make this confession. You repeat after me. Please let's unmute our mic. Dr. Goke, he said I'm the only one enjoying this session. Aya, please unmute your mic. Let us say this together. I am special.
I am special.
I am special.
I am important.
I am important.
I'm important.
I am unique.
I am.
I am gifted.
I am gifted.
I am accepted.
I am accepted.
I am essential.
I am essential.
Essential.
I am significant.
I am
I am
significant.
significant.
I am worthy.
I
I
am.
am worthy.
I am priceless.
I
I
am.
am
I am priceless.
I matter.
I
I
matter.
matter.
Yeah, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you learned one thing or the other.
Indeed.
Yes, we did. And we want to talk.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much, TA, for enlightening us more on this important topic. Thank you so much. And I also want to again appreciate my team members for engaging in the WhatsApp chats during the week. In fact, we were able to learn a lot from each other. So thank you, everyone in this group, for being a part of the session. Okay, the reality is that what I've observed in life is that this world, there is a marketplace. This world is a marketplace, and it's really about perceived value. People don't place value on you based on what they know you are worth. It's based on what they think you are worth. It's all about perception, and you are the only one that gets to set that price. Sometimes too, in a sense of speaking, the world has a way of trying to fix a price on you, maybe because you don't have experience, or maybe because you don't look a certain way, whether it is in relationships, whether it is on the job, people are trying to put their best foot forward. And so nobody wants to be seen as less than this value. But like TA said, nobody will put that value on you nobody will put that same value on you. They'll want to rather negotiate and settle for something lower. So you're the one that will have to say no. I'm not going to go lower than this. At the bottom of this discussion, I want to just say it very briefly. At the heart of this discussion is the fact that growing up in Nigeria and different households, probably been exposed to different things, some unhealthy childhood upbringing. If we had the parents that didn't know any better and we started to abuse this, and or something just to they don't I know that they say it out of frustration, but most of the time they don't mean it. And they don't realize that words are powerful. I was sharing with my group that even the names we bear, names are words. We give our children names because of the future we want to have for them, we want to design a future for them based on the names we give them. So the names you have been given, whether as a child, as a peer, your mates, tell you how big your head is, how not too handsome or beautiful you are. People can be very mean. It's not only children your age when you are growing up that can be mean. Siblings can be mean sometimes, family members, And so once we come to that sense of awareness, it's important for us to now sit down and dismantle a lot of things. We have to unlearn all those unhealthy, hurtful words that have been said. Some of us, we may even need to, seek therapy, seek help. There's no shame in seeking help. I don't know, because of my upbringing, my background and training, but there's nothing wrong in seeking help. Counseling. People are going through a lot these days, and this thing about mental health, yes, people are looking for every single thing to put under mental health. Oh, this person, I don't like this person, is a threat to my mental health. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you trying to have a healthy sense of self and worth and value. And it is only as you have that you give. For many of us, we are probably, I want to say for many of us, but people are stuck in different stages of self-awareness. There's this thing that I heard of the other day. They call it Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So it's basically about the man's pursuit for self-actualization and all that he can be. If you have not gone beyond survival, where you are just hustling for basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, you cannot go from there to a different level of significance. If somebody who has his basic needs met, that will probably be looking at something higher. You understand? Let me just read a little bit on that hierarchy on needs very, very briefly, then gives everybody else a chance to talk.